Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
He'll be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure you tag at Star City Games so Rob can see them, send his favorites over to us. As always, we are brought to you by Star City Games, as well as Carnox chairs. If you want one of these chairs, and if you're coming to SCG-Con this weekend, you might get to experience them in the future match area. But if you want one for yourself, you can order them through our affiliate link, carnox.com/SCG, and get 10% off of your purchase. So just easy game, get your 10%.
Yeah, I know if I go to the Invitational and I'm in the top 8 and I'm sitting in one of these Carnox chairs constantly, I'm going to buy one as just a remembrance of the good old days, you know?
And you'll have the money to pay for one, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the SCG Winter, SCG-Con Winter. That's it, coming up this weekend, featuring the Invitational.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best weekend of the year. I'm sure.
The whole week seems fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, well, you've already got people in the house, you know, hanging out, showing them around town. It's a great week to have for us in Roanoke, actually, to have everybody descend and see our little corner of the Magic community. And this, you know, this is a little bit unusual. You're getting a little spoiled, actually, because there's so many people here early because of Richmond last weekend.
Sure.
That usually doesn't happen. Normally, they get here like Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So we still have, like, these first few days are different. So
I brought a lot of stragglers back with me from Richmond. So
no, you are getting the top-notch invitational weekend experience already.
I've been loving it.
Yeah, it's great. But we've been playing a lot of Pioneer recently.
Yeah.
And this weekend is actually 2 formats. It's Pioneer and Modern.
Yeah.
So in preparation for that, we are going to play a little bit of Modern today. We'll get to some Pioneer tomorrow, where we'll have a 3rd episode this week, a little off schedule, but Wednesday, same time, right here at twitch.tv/Star City Games. And I will be in that. Corey will not. We have a special guest. We're not telling you who.
Brad already told you.
Did he yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I know. But maybe people never watched yesterday's episode.
I mean, I know who it is, too.
Brad ruins everything.
He spoiled it.
He ruins everything. Never letting him out on Versus Live again.
Oh, yeah.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Hey, but I did good work while Brad was here. I defended.
Yes, that is good.
I kept him in town. There's a lot of West Coasters who are trying to bring these marbles away from our beautiful East Coast over here, and we've been doing some good blocking so far.
Yeah. I've blocked Todd. I blocked, I think I might have blocked Emma at one point. There was somebody else where the marbles were up for grabs.
Yep.
But if you don't win them today, they'll be up for grabs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Special guest. So
just throw the matches. Just throw.
I can't. It's not in my capabilities.
I would
to do
hope
that.
not.
I literally cannot. Not possible.
I like it.
Okay. So we are playing some of the top decks in Modern, at least to start. I think this is one of the most important matchups to understand.
Exactly.
You're going to be playing Simic Urza. This is sort of the breakout deck of Modern over the last couple weeks.
Yep.
Lotus Box putting in a ton of work on this deck and dominating the most recent Modern Open.
Yep.
So, you know, this is the default best deck. This is the deck that I've heard most people saying, yeah, I'm just going to play that in Modern, and then I'm going to spend all my time figuring out Pioneer.
Yep. That's a lot of what people are thinking here. And if you're going to be playing this Invitational, be ready and be prepared. Have a good plan against this deck, because not only the Simic Urza list, which plays out more like a mid-range deck that the Lotus Box boys have created, but there's also going to be plenty of iterations of Urza decks, so this is one deck you have to be prepared for. It's still, for sure, one of the Tier 1 decks. You know, Amulet as well, Death Shadows, I would say those are kind of the 3.
Yep.
Those are kind of the pillars right now. You know, Death Shadow's supposed to beat Urza, Amulet's probably supposed to beat Death Shadow. We kind of got a little trifecta going here.
I actually think, so I am playing Amulet Titan, a deck I've been playing for a little while. I think Amulet's pretty good in this matchup. Oko is really good from your side. But I really like the way I'm positioned against basically every other card, and I think with Field of the Dead, like, you can go over the top of Oko.
Sure.
Now with the combo element that they've reincorporated with, you know, War of Invention and the Thopter Sword combo, you can sort of go back over the top of Field of the Dead.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting dynamics in this matchup. It's a really tricky, so it'll be fun to show you all this one.
Yeah.
As far as the Shadow decks, I think Grixis Shadow is actually slightly ahead against both of these decks.
You think so?
Yeah, Grixis specifically. I think I think Amulet is significantly better against Jund, because Stubborn Denial is quite good against your Summoner's Pacts.
Yep.
but the Grixis matchup is tough. They have other counterspells in the sideboard too.
And I think just the only problem that I have with Grixis, like I agree, Grixis really good draws, can beat pretty much anything, but Grixis just defeats itself sometimes. You know, you keep these hands where you're like, okay, this hand is fine, but I don't really have a threat yet, but I have plenty of disruption and stuff, and your threats just aren't in the top 20 cards, and your deck does nothing, you know?
I also think Grixis is a little weak, is much weaker than these decks against the sort of the morass of modern decks that exist in any big tournament, you know? So your day one is going to be a little bit more hazardous. You're going to run into weird things like humans, which is a rough matchup, or I don't know, some like weird graveyard decks. Like you're not very good against Dredge unless you come prepared. So those are issues for the shadow decks, but they're pretty good here. This matchup's also just very close, very intricate, also very long. So I think we'll just get into it.
Yeah, we better just get into it. We're gonna keep this one to a best 2 out of 3 because I think we've played this matchup a long time ago. But you know the decks have gotten better, they've changed and stuff, and I believe they were always pretty grindy.
Yes.
All right, so let's do this. Definitely. So I got the marbles.
So I'll be on the play. Very important. And...
all right, let's see what we got here. A lot of land so far.
I'm gonna keep this one.
I think I'll keep as well.
I will start on Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
And we're looking for some sort of acceleration here.
Your deck accelerates?
We found that in Azusa. So I will start on a Snow-Covered Forest and an Amulet of Vigor.
Okay, seems pretty good.
Pass the turn.
All right, so we're really hoping for a way to accelerate as well here.
You don't have quite as many.
We don't accelerate quite as hard as you do. So we're going to go to 19 here with Delta. All right. And we're going to go with an Astrolabe. Draw a card. Not good draws there. And then we'll pass it to you.
Okay. I like seeing no Mox Opal. I'm going to play Golgari Rot Farm.
Okay.
Float green-black, return itself. Cast the Azusa.
Okay.
And then
2 more land drops.
Second land drop, third land drop, the field untaps.
Okay.
Keep this bounce land in my hand.
All right. Was an okay draw, not great. We really needed this in our opener. Kill a goose, get a food, and then we'll just play an island and pass to you.
That is not good for you.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I will cast a Summoner's Pact.
Okay.
Finding a Primeval Titan.
Yikes.
I don't need to shuffle that. We'll be going in just a second. Just want to figure out exactly how I want to sequence this. So we're definitely going to first land drop, make green-black, return. Okay. Then I think I will make another green. Second land drop, return here.
Okay.
So I have 1 land drop left and cast the Titan here.
Prime time. Yeah, it's got to resolve. We drew a couple lands off the top when we really just needed a 0-mana artifact, and I could have had an Elko for turn 2, which would have been really effective. But
yeah, stopping the Amulet would have been great.
Exactly.
But
start Elkifying the world.
Let's go Boris Garrison, Slayer Stronghold, give haste.
Okay.
Now I am going to have 5 lands when or 4 lands after the Boris Garrison trigger resolves, and I want to get up to 5 before I attack.
So you got to return something with Garrison.
Yeah,
still,
so
right?
I have to return something. I want to leave the... Maybe I'm supposed to return a bounce land, actually. Yeah, I want to have a bounce land in my hand.
Okay.
So let's return the Golgari.
And you have 1 land left, right?
Yeah,
1
land drop to make.
Okay.
I'll play this. So that's my last land drop.
Okay.
And then go to attack. So now with this trigger, I'll get up to 7 uniques and trigger field.
Okay.
So we can attack with both, I guess.
Sure.
And I can get Simic, Growth Chamber, Teleria West. They will both untap. I'll get 2 zombies. Then I'll have the Simic Growth Chamber resolve.
Things are fine. Things are fine over here.
So I've got an 8/6 and a 1/2.
Yep, I will. I'll block.
Okay, you take 8, brings you to 11.
Yep.
And post combat, I will transmute Teleria West. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually 1 mana short.
Of paying for both?
Paying for both packs, which is awkward. Maybe I should have done that counting. I probably could have just left the route farm in play and been able to pay. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the kind of thing that I will go through when I'm not talking through everything.
Yeah. Let's get real. You're always talking, even in a sanctioned match.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just get a Summoner's Pack to set up to have another Titan.
Makes sense to me.
And then I will pass the turn.
All right. If we could have OCO'd on turn 2, this would have been a lot better. Still more than likely dead. You pay for Pact, and then you can still Pact and play another Primeval. I think that's just going to be game here. Yeah, our hand just did not develop very well. Yeah, the second one's going to get me. I just got all the hands in a no-go.
Yeah. Yep. I already had the Pact negation, too.
Nice, nice. Sick bluffs.
We had it rolled up next turn.
I like it. I like it.
That was a strong draw on my part. My hand was basically, it had all the pieces, but I needed to Once Upon a Time into either Azusa or Tribe Scout.
Sure.
To get there, hit off the Once Upon a Time.
Gotta love it.
Like that's what this card has done for the deck. Like, it had the turn 3 Titan draws. Like, deck used to be capable of that.
Yeah.
They just didn't happen that often. With Once Upon a Time, they happen so much more often.
Yeah.
And it's not
Once Upon a Time is a gift for that deck, for sure. Yeah.
It finds almost every piece. It can find a Titan, it can find a piece of acceleration, it can find a bounce land. Sometimes it digs for your key lands in a given matchup, like Ghost Quarter against Tron, Field of the Dead against Control, Cavern against counterspells. So it's just incredible in this deck.
It's unreal. And this is the hand I kept. It was still great, but I really just needed a 0-mana artifact so I could turn 2 OCO. Then I think this is a different game. If I can hit your Amulet and then I can control your Titan, your lands just don't get as carried away, and then it would have been possible, but we just drew 3 lands off the top. So
then I have to play the Field of the Dead game, but it doesn't come online as quickly, though. I guess, because you've turned on the Amulet, so I don't get double Titan trigger. Then you turn off the Titan. So I probably have to keep getting Teleria West to try to get more and more Titans. Keep occupying your OCO that way, and eventually
you could have probably attacked it down, but you definitely would have been slower, and we would have had a game.
Yeah,
so,
and then an Urza, that goes a long way towards stabilizing the battlefield from your side.
Exactly. Okay, well, we are going to get to sideboarding here, and hopefully, that we'll have a game that wasn't such a beating here. So stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Versus Live. All right, everybody, welcome back to Versus Live. Here we are sideboarding with Simic Urza against Amulet, and from my end here, we're taking out a little bit of our counter spells. First of all, you have Caverns of Souls, so it doesn't really reliably counter Prime Time that much. On the play, it's a little bit better, but I would rather just have a turn 2 Dampening Sphere than just trying to have a Metallic Rebuke for one of your creatures that might sneak through with the Cavern anyways. I'm taking out 2 Engineered Explosives, leaving 1 in as a tutor target, just in case for zombies that I want to clean up. I don't need a lot of them because they're not that great against you, but definitely fine as a 1-of to be able to clean up zombies late game. Aether Spellbound, bouncing one of your mana accelerants is pretty bad. It can do some stuff against Prime Time, but we do have just plenty of answers for that as well. And then just 1 Emery for Dampening Spheres, Assassin's Trophy, and 1 Bridge. Okay. I really think Ensnaring Bridge should actually be in the main deck. Personally, just because there's certain matchups like this where if you just have it in your deck, you just win game 1. You have Whir to go get it. A lot of decks don't play a lot of main deck artifact disruption, so I really think this card should just be in the main deck for basically every Urza list.
Yeah. And, this is a list that I actually played in the most recent Modern Open, and I had moved the Reclamation Sage that was in the main deck to the sideboard.
Yeah.
We are bringing it in here because we do need to deal with problematic artifacts and enchantments. Same with Force of Vigor. The Tireless Trackers here are to help me play a little bit of a mid-range game. You're attacking my mana with Damping Sphere of trying to stop Titan, and this is a card I can get done early, generate some card advantage, and maybe start pressuring an OCO, maybe force you to plus on it. But just a solid card here. I like Engineered Explosives from my side. You're sort of reliant on getting your zeros down, so I'll often be casting it on 0, but it also helps deal with Damping Sphere and Ensnaring Bridge and things like that. Dismember is going to be good against all of your creatures, and then this is a matchup, especially post-board, where the games go pretty late, so the second Field of the Dead comes in. You often trim on lands in this deck. You usually want to stay around 27, 28 or 27 to 29.
Sure.
I have 30 in the main, so I can afford to go down to 28 here. Against the heavy Damping Sphere deck, I'm okay trimming one of the bounce lands.
Yeah,
and then
Turf's probably one of your worst ones.
Yeah, it's just the one that I have 2 of.
Oh, okay,
so you have 4 Growth Chamber, that's obvious.
That's
and
the
best,
yeah.
I have 1 Gruul Turf, 1 Sanctuary, or 2 Gruul Turf, 1 Sanctuary, 1 Rot Farm.
Yep.
And you like the red and white ones occasionally to go with if you need to find them to get red and white mana for your lands.
Yep, exactly.
But you want to diversify for fields, so going down to 1 of each I think is better than having 2 Gruul Turfs. These are the 2 worst utility lands, so they easily come out.
Yeah, definitely not for this matchup.
As good as the cantrips are at giving you consistency, they are the cards that have to come out because you have so many lands, and then the core cards of your deck that the cantrips are trying to find, so that when you're sideboarding, these are really the only cards left.
Yeah, what are you going to trim on prime time? I doubt it.
Yeah, like those aren't coming out. If Summoner's Pact is bad, it'll come out. If Engineer Explosives is bad, it'll come out. But they're both good in this matchup, so we got to trim some number of cantrips. You know, I'll keep Once Upon a Times in more so than Ancient Stirrings if my opponent's a heavy discard deck and I need to make sure I have multiple copies of Titan. But if the game is faster, Ancient Stirrings is finding me Amulets, which are, I think, important in this matchup. So I'm erring towards keeping more Amulets in than Once Upon a Times here. But it's a small difference.
Makes sense to me. All right, let's get ready for game 2 here. You won game 1 pretty handily. Pretty handily. You had a nice draw. My hand didn't develop.
Well, welcome to Modern.
Yeah.
A couple bad draws on your part and a solid one on mine on the play.
And boom, we got Saturday free for the Invitational.
Don't do me like that.
Yeah.
Don't do me like that.
I wouldn't put that on you. All right, Rob, let's take some questions here if you got any of them.
All right, so we had a banning yesterday.
We did.
So what do you think about Veil of Summer being banned in Pioneer?
Honestly, I think Veil of Summer being banned in Pioneer is just like a 100% stamp that it's banned in Standard. So I love it. Because it's obviously a very strong card, and it shuts down a lot of archetypes, but it's way more impressive in Standard, and I think that's a very good sign that it's probably going to go on Monday as well.
I don't think it's going to have a huge effect in Pioneer.
Yeah.
It'll have a slight one, which I think is their goal. It's a little worrying to me that they're willing to make make a ban on a card to have such a small effect.
Yeah.
So it's clear that they don't really want to ban the really big offenders if they think the deck is actually too good. But if they're going to continuously ban small things, then you run into the consumer confidence issue. Not big for entrenched players like Corey and me, but after that first wave of bans, I heard some rumblings about I just bought this deck. This is I didn't even get a chance to play it yet.
But they did warn. I mean, saying to those people that think that way, Aaron Forsythe immediately came out with, hey, be wary about buying stuff. But this is in the beta mode, essentially. We're going to be actively banning stuff. So, to be fair, that was warned. I agree it sucks because people need to buy decks for tournaments and whatnot, but it was definitely warned.
But so I'm okay with bans like that first wave of bans, even in spite of that. But this one is just granted, no deck is going to get hit. Like if you were playing a deck with Veil of Summer in it, you can still play that deck.
you just throw it away.
Swap out 2 or 3 cyber cards, it'll be fine.
Can't play Mono Green Devotions anymore.
Just hope you didn't buy Veil of Summers over the weekend for some reason.
Yeah. And dang it, you lost your $1.50.
They're like $8 a piece.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
At least they were. They probably went down a little.
That's unreal. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to game 2 here. I'm going to be on the play.
Will you now?
Yes, I will. And my artifact deck's supposed to have artifacts, right?
Indeed.
I just don't think I can keep this. This hand is just too slow. I don't interact or do anything on the first 2 turns. Turn 3 Oko is good, but I think this hand's just a trap.
Yeah, that's a mulligan.
Yep.
My lands deck is supposed to have lands, right?
Yeah. That would have been really funny. You're just like, snap keep. This other one's Amulet. Let's go.
That still wouldn't be keep.
Yeah, we really just wanted another question, Rob. We didn't want to keep these hands.
So from one of our favorites, Asteus.
All right.
With the focus on Urza decks, do you think that now is a good time to be playing graveyard-based decks?
I don't know if those directly correlate, to be honest. I think maybe this is a good tournament to avoid an Urza, find a good deck that isn't Urza, because it is going to have the #1 target on its head. Artifacts are definitely being gunned after right now. So, a different kind of really powerful modern deck, yes. As far as a graveyard deck, I don't know if Dredge is as powerful as, it's definitely not as powerful as it used to be. nor do I think it's like busted like I did think before. So I just don't think there's any great graveyard decks, even though the hate is just targeted at artifacts.
Yeah. If you were to play a graveyard deck, I think the Crabvine deck is good.
Yeah.
But the graveyard decks are pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, that Crabvine deck, we had some just insane draws with it, and then I'm just like, okay, I have 2 power by turn 3. I'm doing nothing, you know?
Yeah, so that's just an overall issue with them, and why you don't see them really capitalizing on the dearth of graveyard hate in the metagame. They're just not, as overtly powerful as they used to be, and consistent. So, a lot of people did play Crabvine at the last Modern Open, part of Lotus Box and some other people, and the people that played Crabvine didn't do that well. And there is some good hate cards on the sideboard of these decks. You've got a Grafdigger's Cage and a Nile Spellbomb and Snaring Bridge. Those are all problematic for those graveyard decks. So it's not like it's completely gone. So I just don't think the graveyard decks are actually like that great.
I don't either.
Just in a general sense. So you're actually going to lose. Before, when graveyard decks are good, they're winning almost all the games where your opponents don't produce dedicated hate or have some absurd combo.
Yeah.
But now that's not the case. Like, you're losing just regular games of Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, Dredge always just ebb and flowed, where it was really, really good when people were just kind of forgot about it, which is kind of now. There's not a lot of graveyard hate, but that's because people recognize it's not that great. And then it would win an event, and then people would put ley lines in 7, and they were like, okay, now this deck's bad for a couple weeks, and so I'm with you on that.
But with the loss of Faithful Suiting, their draws are just way less consistent than they used to be.
All right, well, this hand's much better. I'm gonna keep.
Ditto.
All right. Well, we're going to put this on the bottom.
Definitely have to keep all of our proactive pieces as much as possible.
Yep.
So we'll put the reactive card on the bottom.
So now here's the question. We have a really tough turn 1 here. We want to... It's just what land we want to play, and I think we just want to set up for next turn the best we can. Maybe not. You know what? Let's go for the little bit of the high risk here. We're going to go with an Astrolabe. And Mox, and pass to you.
Okay. I will cast a Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
Because I have one in my deck, so I had it in my opening hand.
Of course, yeah. And 2 hands in a row. Except you didn't have any other spells the last hand, so...
Well, the card I want to take is a card I can't. So let's think about this hand.
I would suggest you not cheat.
For a second, and I think we want to take this one because it just gives us the most options. It's one of these two for sure.
Got a toughie?
Yeah, it's just a close one. It's sort of a judgment call, and I could get paid off or punished based on what I draw.
Nice. So no matter what, you're getting punished.
Yeah.
Just face the facts.
Actually, I think I'm going to take the Growth Chamber.
Okay. Then just Growth Chamber, return it, say go?
That is not what I'll be doing. I will play Forest, Sakura, Tribe Scout, though.
Okay.
You're up.
Not exactly what we wanted to draw, but not terrible. We'll go with an Emery.
Yep.
Flip 4.
What we got?
Lands and EE. Sanctuary and pass to you.
Ooh, that's a neat one.
Just neat.
I will play an Amulet of Vigor.
Okay.
Play Growth Chamber, return Forest.
Okay.
Activate here, put in Forest, play Tireless Tracker.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right.
So now if Corey plays an Oko, the Tracker is threatening to kill it if he wants to turn the Amulet into an Elk. Tracker plus Elk. So I've got a lot of pressure towards an Oko here if it wants to be disruptive, and if it doesn't want to be disruptive, I'm not that concerned about it.
Yep. Yeah, this is scary. How many cards you got?
I have 3.
Okay. Yeah, this is not that great for me right now, because I really don't want you to just gain a bunch of value with Tireless Trackers, so I could try to deal with that. But then I threaten just Primeval Titan just ending the game, essentially, which is not cool.
Speak for yourself.
Let's get the judge's ruling. I believe it is not cool. All right, so... Oh, and we kind of just have some awkward things here. Let's go with... We're going to return this for 0.
Sure.
So we turn on our Mox Opal here. Then we are going to cast an Emery Legend. Had to do it in that order, even though that is a little awkward. All right, at least we hit a bobble here. And now we will just Dampening Sphere. Try to stop that from happening, and then we'll pass to you.
Corey.
Yes.
Todd wants to know, why not just EE for 1?
Why not just EE for 1? Oh, yeah, I guess that would probably be pretty solid. I lose Astrolabe, but...
I think with the Damping Sphere, it's pretty reasonable to just do that and then set up the E for next turn. Although I guess...
E for 1 and then... No, that probably would have been better. No, yeah, you're right. You're good, Todd. You're good.
Well, Damping Sphere is definitely an issue here. Had to put that Engineered Explosives on the bottom. But we do have a tracker, so it's not the end of the world.
Tracker.
Let's...
Todd says, no, you great, Corey.
let's Cavern on Giant, get
Okay.
a clue. Where are you, Sam? Let's crack that clue.
Okay.
That
Crack that clue.
That is not a bad one. I will attack 4/4.
All right, I will take it.
Brings you to 16.
Yep.
I will pass the turn.
Okay. Still got a land drop with Sakura. Well, I think it is time to... And it's kind of awkward here. Without a land, I can't really do anything because Dampening Sphere does hurt me a bit here. So I think we just need to get Oko down.
Sure.
And... Excuse me. Now, I think we just need to elk the Tireless Tracker, even though it more than likely means that we are going to lose Emery here. Or, I mean, lose Oko. I think just the cost of keeping you off a bunch of free cards here just has to be correct. So we're going to do that. We're going to elkify this.
Respond to that by activating Tribe Scout. I'll put in Bajuka Bog, target you.
Okay.
It'll untap. I'll get a clue. And then I will sack the clue, make sure this gets its counter first.
Okay. Now you got a gigantic
Then it'll be an
elk.
5/5 elk.
Just a giant elk.
And you're done after that?
Yeah, and I'm done. So now we got a blocker here if we want to protect Oko, which could be pretty solid, but it doesn't deal with Tracker very well.
Attack Oko for 5.
But our Emery is doing absolutely nothing right now, so yeah, we'll block.
Sure. Okay, Emery down is cool. And I think I'll just, once again, probably just force Corey's hand here. And we'll play another Tireless Tracker.
All right.
Then I will float a green.
Just both Tireless Trackers.
Play Golgari Rot Farm. It'll untap. Return the Forest. Get a clue.
Okay.
I have a green in pool. Activate here. Put the Forest onto the battlefield.
Okay.
Second clue. Now, do I want to use this or do I want to sack a clue? I think I would rather sack a clue. Just to get a counter on the tracker, make it a little bit bigger. Especially against Urza, if this is an elk, 1 counter on it.
That's only taps for 1.
Yeah, I have a green float.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Unfortunately, because of Damping Sphere right now, can't cast this, but that's fine. It's not a bad draw either, but I will pass the turn.
Yeah, I think being EE for 1 would have been a lot better a turn ago, or a couple turns ago. Now I'm in quite a rough spot. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to Elkify Tracker again, but now you just have so many cards. I'm going to need something like a Urza to get back into this. Yeah, not great. Not great at all. Yeah, let's just elk this. Play a breeding pool and pass to you.
Okay.
Those are some tireless elks.
So send. So go to declare tax.
Yep.
So there's no instant speed interaction other than the spell bomb, I'm pretty sure. So it's and cryptic, which you can't cast. So let's send these, which is 6 power at the Oko, and then 4 at you.
All right.
So you're at 12.
12. Yep.
And I actually don't think there's any reason to go for these. I could. The issue is I could get rebuked and then into cryptic and just lose the game.
Love that.
And I'm very far ahead right now. I guess you could have EE for 3 and deal with the trackers, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm gonna play an Ancient Stirrings.
Okay.
I should crack the clue first, and it'll inform my stirrings.
Okay.
So let's do that. Let's play an Ancient Stirrings.
Sure.
And that is a pretty cool draw. Makes me wish I hadn't attacked with the Tribe Scout. Didn't really think out this entire turn, but we will find Field of the Dead.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just getting beat on every metric here.
Play that as my land for turn.
Yep.
Actually, I don't actually need to do that. I can play this as my land for turn into a Tribe Scout, have another 1/1, and then pass the turn.
All right. I think we really just need an Urza. I think that's like the only thing that can get me back into this. That's not Urza. It's not Urza at all. Guess we'll go with an Oko. And we'll Elkify this. Land go.
You have 1 in hand?
1 in hand.
Okay. Let's so let's I can throw away Tribe Scout here to deal with the Oko. So declare tax.
Yep.
Send all 3 at the Oko.
Okay, yep. So no matter what, Oko's going to die because our card in hand does not do anything. So, yeah, we'll just need a Tribe Scout.
Yep. Once again, no reason for me to blink here until I definitely have another green source. So we'll play Field of the Dead, get a zombie.
Yep.
And I'm afraid of an EE on 3, so I don't think I will play this, and I will just pass the turn.
All right. Now, to sack this or not, we don't have any relevant spells to put Sanctuary on top.
Yeah,
So
just
I
leave
think we'll just leave this one. And we're dead.
If you do nothing, I'm just going to dismember this.
Yeah,
and have lethal damage.
Yeah, no, not too much we had there at the end.
I had packed for Rexage the entire time, but there's just no reason for me to go for it with only the 2 green sources.
Yeah.
If you just had some combination of, either counterspell at one point because you could rebuke into cryptic or damping sphere plus cryptic. I don't there's just no reason.
Yeah, you're just wildly ahead. You wait for me to deal with this.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think my my one turning point of the game, like Todd said, is be able to just EE for 1 and hit those, hit the Scout and Amulet would have been good. You lose Astrolabe, but yeah.
Well, that would have been fine because you would have been able to recast the Astrolabe the next turn.
Yeah.
Because I would have been
It's probably actually been better to get that Astrolabe into the graveyard.
I would have been slowed down on my mana. I would have gotten fewer clues off the trackers.
Yeah.
Your Oko probably lives.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Yeah. That was a mistake for sure. That was a mistake.
It's a tricky matchup.
It is. Just from both sides. Both sides are really tough here.
Okay. We have some time to take a question or two before we
Yeah.
get to the third game.
Let's do it.
All right, so I've got 2 queued up right now. First, for Ross, why did you take out the main deck Reclamation stage?
I just didn't find myself using it. You know, I had played like 3 tournaments, tested a bit in between on Magic Online, and it was just a card I never wanted to draw or in game 1 in the vast majority of my matchups. And I found myself often wanting another bounce land or wanting a bounce land.
Okay.
And so I wanted to add one more, and that was really the only slot there was for it. I think for this weekend, with the way the Urza decks are being built now, I would go back to it. But it's certainly not a requirement to have it in your main.
Sure.
Even if you don't have it, you still have an Engineered Explosives that you can tutor for with Teleria West to deal with things like Ensnaring Bridge. So you're not completely cold to them. And a lot of the time, you just end up like sort of racing cards like that.
Yeah, it used to be Amulet was way more of a toolbox deck, right? Like there was just so many one-ofs and so many things.
Ballista.
Yeah, and things that, I played a lot of Amulet back in those days. I haven't played a lot since Once Upon a Time got into it, but now the deck just does the same thing, and it does it way more consistently. And I think that's where you want to be, because your main thing was what I tutored for, searched for, went to do as my gameplay 90% of the time,
And now you have this really robust end game in Field of the Dead, so you don't need to worry that much about your Titans dying as long as you can trigger them and set up your field engine. So that was another reason that the toolbox became less necessary.
Yeah.
So that it really is just doing its thing. And you saw it there. Like, I played turn 3 Titan both games.
Yeah.
And I mulled a 6 in one of them, and I would have had turn 3 Titan be a Damping Sphere.
Yeah.
And then even though you broke that up, I just had Tireless Trackers.
Yeah. And I had a decision point actually on turn 1 whether or not to just play Sanctuary, and then next turn have for sure turn 2 Dampening Sphere, or go for Astrolabe and Mox Opal without another land. I figured I wanted to get those 1 mana spells down before Dampening Sphere just so I wouldn't hurt myself.
Yeah.
But didn't work that way. Okay, let's see if I can at least get a game here on you. All right, off to a good start. We got the combo. You're dead. You're dead. We got it all.
This is a hand that is awkward in that it's uninterrupted. It's a turn 4 Titan.
Yep.
If I draw a single land, but it has multiple bounce lands, so any Damping Sphere is a huge problem for this hand. So I think this is a mulligan.
All right, Rob, let's get a question going. Have you got one?
Yeah, MBUSC wants to know, how do you feel about sideboarding against Urza? Is Force of Vigor and Oof enough, or should you be looking to sideboard in a different way to beat Urza?
Well, if you looked at sideboarding this matchup, I don't even have Collector Oof.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly effective now that they have Oko, and Urza gets around it in terms of generating mana. So my sideboard plan is generally situated around dealing with Oko, which is the problematic card. The Urza part of their deck, I think you actually are quite good against.
Yeah.
But it's the Oko that gives them a lot of interaction and slows you down considerably. That is a problem.
Yeah.
So I just bring in Tireless Trackers and the answers to their key permanents like Damping Sphere and Engineered Explosives. So
yeah, I think when the deck was more combo centric, like Force and Collector Oof are just like mandatory, right?
Yeah.
Now of course you can still win with the combo, but it just beats you with other ways. Like Oko being able to turn all these hate cards into Elk and then lose those abilities is just attacking everything at a new angle. So it's really tough to sideboard against. That's for sure.
You want a little bit of removal for their key problematic permanents. Like Damping Sphere, Ensnaring Bridge, things like that. So I have the 1 Rex Age, I have 1 Force of Vigor. Don't really ever want to draw 2. And then you have a couple of EEs, which are just pretty good value cards in the matchup anyway.
Yeah, if you can just get a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1 or whatever, it's excellent.
Yeah, you often just blow it up for 0 in the early game, and it really stifles your development.
Hit a Mox, hit a Thopter or whatever, plenty.
Yeah, so I don't think Collector Oof is good. You really need to be focused on helping to answer Oko. EE also does that sometimes. You can EE for 3 in this deck pretty easily. And then the Tireless Trackers, like you saw there in that game too, help a lot when they're spending a lot of resources making sure you can't Titan. You just make your land drops naturally, have some big creatures.
100%. Okay, so putting our card back here is interesting. I think I would rather just put this away. I think it's either this or the Goose. So we're just going to put the land.
Oh, this hand. This is a turn 4 Titan.
Okay.
but it is really nothing else, and it can pretty easily be broken up. I think this is a Malda 5. It's just, yeah.
Brutal.
It's just not doing anything in the meantime, and like it's not even a guaranteed turn for Titan.
My hand is definitely not overpowered or anything, so I think you'll be all right. Let's take one more question, Rob. If you got one.
No, we have one.
Okay.
J Black Deegan wants to know, do you think that Copter is going to be one of the next bands in Pioneer?
I don't think so.
No, it's seeing a lot of play, but that's a pretty big function of how easy it is to slot into decks.
Yeah. And it's maybe seeing more play than it should. It's being thrown in just kind of every deck. Some are great shells, like your Soul Artifact deck. I think it's great in there. But no, I don't think that card's at the power level yet anyways. I mean, Sure, if other things get banned and then it just gets thrown in every deck like it did back in like Blue-White Flash days. It was just, you were just Blue-White Flash, you were Green-Red Aggro with Smuggler's Copter. Like then it maybe deserved the ban just because it was in every deck, but not yet. Not yet.
It's just one of the premier aggressive threats in the format. That's fine.
Yeah, I like it. It just adds a cool element, I mean, vehicles are just really sweet to have. Like, it really keeps wrath effects in check, and it's just an all-around great card.
Okay, what are we looking at now? We are looking at a reasonable hand.
All right.
It needs a few more lands, and because of that, I'm going to put these Azuzas on the bottom of my library.
All right, fair. All right, I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to start with a bauble, target myself, let this bauble dictate what I am going to play right away. And I do not like that card, so we are going to go to
not like it, Sam,
17. We're going to get a breeding pool. All right. Then we're going to play a goose.
Probably going to trigger that goose.
I'm going to trigger it as well. I think that seems good.
Smart.
Get some food, pass it to you, draw a card.
And Once Upon a Time? Oh, that seems unfair. I didn't even have turns at Once Upon a Time.
Wow, you're one of?
I do still have turn 1 tribes.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we are going to go with Astrolabe, draw a card.
It's a nice little accelerate start from Corey, especially if he has a Mox here.
I do have a Mox. Always have it. Now, nothing really to follow up here. We'll just likely just make a food, leave some mana open, pass to you.
Interesting. Very interesting. I will play a Bajuk Bog and bog you.
Bogged. Okay.
I will pass the turn.
I'm going to make a food. Untap.
Yep.
All right. Now we're going to sacrifice this.
16.
We're just going to get a basic land here.
Yeah, with Astrolabe Mox.
Yeah. We're wide open here. And then we got an Urza, Lord High Artificer. Okay. Pretty good one.
So with the ETB trigger in the stack, I will dismember the Urza, go into 16 myself.
Pretty strong.
Got the Rebuke.
I do not have the Rebuke. Do we want to float some mana off this? I'm sure we do. Let's go. We got a... Oh, thanks.
Not in play yet.
Let's float 2 blue.
Okay. So 16 all. You now have a construct, blue bloom pool.
Okay, and Sword of the Meek. And past you.
Okay. On your end step, let's activate. Let's get Growth Chamber.
Okay.
Pick up this Gemstone Mine so I can not have it die.
Yep.
And you have 1 card in hand?
1 card. We really needed that Urza.
Ooh, 1 card in hand. How lucky do I feel? I don't feel very good about my spot here. Corey's got a pretty big battlefield, and that construct is going to be
quite large,
chunking in for a good amount of damage. So actually, I guess I'll just still take the conservative line, although not that conservative. But I'm actually just going to deal with this construct.
That's fair.
I just don't. I don't have a lot of time to.
This construct is
it.
going to destroy me. Okay, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not a great draw there. Not much we can do with these. We'll just pass the turn.
Okay. I think there's a cryptic command over there.
I'd be able to do lots of things with that.
Yeah.
There's 4 modes.
Let's play a forest.
Okay.
And attack for 2.
All right, I'll take it.
14. You can
14,
go.
yep. Okay, we will make a food.
Yep.
Can't race the goose, man. Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Is it though?
It is, though. All right, well, do we want to cast it is the real question. And I think...
Do you though?
Do I? All right, your turn. We're going to play a little conservatively
He
here.
wants to hold up that cryptic command.
I sure do.
That's an awkward draw. Attack for 2.
Take it. 12.
You can go.
All right, food.
Normally the person attacking in a standstill is ahead, but I think making a food every turn is better.
That is true.
As soon as Corey draws another Urza, it's going to be lights out.
Definitely could be. Okay, now we got some... Definitely got some goods in the tank here. Now, what kind of direction do we want to take this? I really want another land before I start making decisions here, and I do think I have the luxury of waiting. How many cards do you have?
3.
3. I could get aggressive here, but I just don't think there's really a need to, so we're just going to say go. And play a little conservatively. There is draws that punish me for playing in this way, but... I will take it. 10.
EE for 0.
For 0, huh? That's all my food. Yeah, I really don't want that to happen. I really don't want that to happen. So we are going to... We're going to counter draw.
You're up.
All right. Untap. Now we are going to... Sanctuary, put this on top. Then we are going to... Thopter Foundry. And I think now we're just going to start making some Thopters here. We could get this in play, but it doesn't do that much right now, so we'll just pass to you. No more attacking for you.
Ugh. This has been a dagger couple of draws, but I had 2 good ones to start. I can't be too upset. So we're definitely done attacking. We'll play another Tribe Scout.
Ending the attack phase.
You're up.
All right. Make a Thopter, make a Thopter, make a Thopter, make a Thopter. So we're going to make 4.
14.
Yep.
4 Nick Millers.
Yep.
One's a little bit bigger than the others.
Yep. One's a supercharged Nick. All right, we'll draw this Cryptic. Now we are going to take 2, down to 12.
Yep.
And we'll get in there.
That's 5. I go to 11.
Okay, and now we will cast Oko, since we have that Cryptic command open as well.
It's pretty good.
All right, and do we have to care about these Tribe Scouts yet? I don't think we care about any of those, so we're just going to make some food.
Okay.
Your turn.
Cabin results. Oh, this is... I've just drawn too many Titans.
Oh, man.
At one point early on, I was considering...
Couldn't you have cast one at one point? Like when I tapped out?
No, I literally only have 5 mana.
Oh, okay. That makes it a lot harder to cast Titans when you only have 5 mana. Yeah.
I was thinking about taking the risk and pacting for Tribe Elder and just dying to Cryptic Command. You just bounce a land I can't pay for it.
Yep.
But I decided that turn I would just kill your 6/6 because if I packed it for the 3/2, it was going to get trumped by the 6/6 for too long anyway.
Yeah.
So
I like killing this because I had like nothing.
Yeah.
And, I was really relying on that. I had this in hand and I drew Cryptic and then I just drew this,
And then the turn after you the turn after I killed that, you just passed with a million mana up and 2 cards. So I was like, oh, he has the Cryptic.
Yeah.
So now I can't do that. And then I drew like up to 5 mana and then a million Titans and a second Tribe Scout and the EE.
Yep. Well, I mean, honestly, this match really didn't go the way I think it usually goes. Like, I had some pretty miserable draws the first 2 games. Did not play that second game optimally as well. But then you just had a really abysmal draw. So
we would have gotten one of those really long, interesting games had you played game 2 optimally.
Exactly. Okay. So human error here. So we'll I'll take the blame for this one.
It's a very tricky matchup.
It really is. It really is.
Like, you know, knowing what to tutor for with your Titans, super important. Oftentimes you're only getting the one trigger. You've got, like, you know, Cryptic Command that can somehow, like, and sometimes it counters a spell, sometimes it just sets up lethal. You know, post board, it's awkward with my packs when you have Cryptics and trophies, and there's just so many different pieces of interaction on both sides.
A lot of big brain stuff going on, that's for sure.
But, you know, just like with any matchup in Modern, sometimes you get run over.
Yep.
And that's what I did do the first couple games.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is every deck is doing something very broken and degenerate.
Yeah.
But, you know, your opponent's usually doing something broken and degenerate too, but if one person doesn't draw as well, it's usually just a quick game.
Yeah. And that game was sort of you running me over because I never really did anything.
Yeah.
I got sort of close to. If I'd hit the 6 mana earlier, like, maybe I get there and resolve a Titan, and then we do some interesting things. But if that takes too long, like, your sword combo can just trump that.
Exactly.
It's getting you so much life every turn. You trump a couple zombies strategically, like, you know, do the combat math.
Yeah.
Block. You get to eat one with the 2/3.
Yeah.
So that it had to come online pretty quickly, and I had a hand that needed lands. Like, I kept a hand that was Gemstone Mine, bounce land. I needed to draw 3 more mana. I only drew 2 more the rest of the game.
Yep.
You know,
there's definitely a fail rate to that kind of. And I mean, if I never drew a 6 land, I wasn't going to play Thopter Foundry because I really wanted to protect. But that EE was just trouble, so I had to counter that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I was supposed to just hold the EE and try to, like, bait you on a turn I was going for Titan.
Yeah,
you know, that
I
turn
did draw the land next turn, so I would have just had Thopter and then and with a counter backup, and then just kind of locked up. I had a Misty, so I could have Sanctuaried and stuff.
At that point, you don't even really care about the EE on 0.
Exactly. All right, well, these are 2 Titan decks going at it. We are definitely going to see them at the...
I'm the Titan deck.
Oh, sorry. One Titan deck and 1 Oko. Is that better? 2 very good decks that we're going to see at the Invitational this weekend in Modern. If you're going to be playing, make sure to be ready for them. Now we're going to be changing pace here, getting our second round set up, and we'll be back. We're just going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll be right back with more Versus Live. Don't go anywhere.